Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of most ages, we are an uncensored comedy podcast covering a variety of movies and film, and we are guaranteed to spoil some shit if you haven't seen the movies yet.
I'm Ace.
And I'm Khan. We are Movies for the People. So this week we went to go see a couple of different movies. We went to see Bad Samaritan and Breaking In. What did you think of Bad Samaritan?
Going in, I was pretty excited. It had David Tennant and it had Robert Shahan, and he was really good. I saw him in Misfits years ago, and I thought he was a really good actor. It's good to see him coming onto the big screen.
I liked it. I thought it was really good. You had Dean Devlin directing it. Someone who I've seen throughout the years doing some TV work. He did a few episodes of The Librarians. He did Leverage, both on TNT, I think it was. And then most recently, prior to this, I guess, he did Geostorm, which I haven't seen, but I really want to see.
I haven't seen it. I don't really want to see it.
I felt that the trailers got better and better as they released more and more of them. It's not one of those that I'm like, yay, let's go see.
We gotta go see it now.
But had I had Movie Pass back then, I'd have gone to see it, without a doubt.
Can we go on a quick little tangent? What's happened to Gerard Butler?
I don't know. He's kind of done a lot of different shit.
It's not really all different. A lot of it's just bad.
A lot of it's bad, I suppose. I mean, what's he done? What's he done recently? I guess
Geostorm.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do for money. $20 is $20. You know.
That is true. Yeah, go get your money, black man.
You know, he did Den of Thieves. Gerard Butler did. I thought that was a good movie.
Never saw it.
It's good. It's worth a check.
Worth a check for me, or worth the check that he got for it?
Both. I would say you should check it out. And I think he got paid for doing a good movie.
Okay.
You know, there was London Has Fallen.
Oh, the White House Down one?
Well, the better of the White House movies. We're not, you know, Channing Tatum one sucked ass.
Here's the thing. The thing about the Channing Tatum one is it didn't take itself too seriously. You had fun. Who was it? Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum?
Yeah.
That's a dynamic duo right there.
No, I disagree. All right, anyway. Now that we're done with your little tangent. Bad Samaritan. You know, we talked about Dean Devlin. I thought he, you know, me having seen some of his work in the past, I thought that he did a pretty good job with this movie.
Yeah.
I felt that if he had a bigger budget, he could have probably done a little bit more yet.
I definitely feel that way.
Carrie Condon, she played Katie, the young lady who was abducted by David Tennant's character at some point in the movie. We have no idea when, how, where, none of that. So
I think she honestly had some of the best acting in the movie.
I agree with you.
Like,
actually.
even when she had that thing in her mouth, you could see just that fear in her eyes, and it just looked...
It looked legit.
You felt terrified for her.
Yeah, you felt terrified for her. Same with Robert Sheehan, his character Sean Falco. Same sort of thing. You could see the fear in his eyes, the terror in his eyes, you know, when he first encountered her. And it was just like, holy fuck, what did I just walk into?
Yeah. He was really good. I wasn't impressed by his friend. Honestly, of the three main people of this movie, I think David Tennant did the worst out of the three.
I kind of agree with you, but disagree with you at the same time. And let me explain why before
Okay.
you
Yeah.
you hate on me for disagreeing with you.
Oh no, I would never.
So about a year ago, we had David Tennant show up in Jessica Jones as Kilgrave, right?
True.
Phenomenal fucking character.
Great.
Phenomenal work by David Tennant. Absolutely killed the role. I think that he set the bar a little bit high when it comes to kind of a serial killer type role, which his Kale Ehrenreich was in this movie. And I felt like the writing let him down more than his performance itself did.
I also think the fact that he was American kind of he didn't have that like that suaveness that he has when he has his normal English accent.
Scottish.
Scottish. Oh. I didn't know where he was from. Sorry.
But I felt that the writing kind of failed him. You don't need a lot of background story for Katie.
Mm-mm.
You know that she was abducted. You know that she's being held captive. And by the means of that she's being held captive is pretty fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And then you don't need a whole lot of a backstory for Sean Falco either, because he's just a dude
Who's caught up in this situation.
caught up in the situation.
He's the everyday man who you're supposed to be able to relate to.
Yeah. And then you have David Tennant's character, who is supposed to be an established serial killer,
Yeah.
but they do nothing for his story as far as establishing it. You get that small teaser in the very opening of the movie, and they don't explain it until an hour into the movie.
Yeah.
So you're kind of left. You're kind of left with more questions than answers as to how he's an established serial killer.
They didn't explain it well.
For me, if they would have even just some quick shots of flashback scenes or whatever to establish his character as
A little bit more like throughout the movie, yeah. I agree.
You can develop that character a little bit. There was no character development for me in that character.
No.
There was great development between Sean and Katie.
Yeah.
Those characters, they developed really well. The story was there for them. But like I said, you don't need a background story for those two characters. For an established serial killer, a little bit of a background story goes a long ways.
I agree. That makes sense. I get it. I just think, like you said, the writing was not there for him.
And you're comparing, for me, I'm comparing Kilgrave and Kale Ehrenreich.
Yeah.
Two similar style roles. And you got an adequate backstory with Kilgrave. You really did. You got to see through flashbacks of what he did to Jessica and other, people along the way throughout his journey of being a general douchebag.
Yeah.
And then in this, you don't get that. You don't get that backstory. You get to see his gravesite at the very end of the movie. So okay, he's established, great. But
I didn't really like that he was established. I think it would have been a lot more interesting if they would have kind of had him, like this is his first time. He's not really sure what he's doing, but he's also a very smart guy. So he's got the upper hand that way.
He very smart, very
smart,
very precise, very concise with his movements, very methodical in the way that he was and executing his plans. I mean, the second that he felt like something was up, he immediately called his lady friend over to be that cover story for him.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I felt like the writing failed him more than the other two.
Yeah, I agree.
But did you know that David Tennant has done some voice work as well?
Really?
Yeah.
On what?
He has done the How to Train Your Dragons.
Really?
Yeah, he was in those. He's also in the really shitty DuckTales remake. He plays Scrooge McDuck.
Oh, I did know that. I forget where I heard that from.
The show sucks. I hate it.
Is it really?
They ruined my childhood for me. That was my shit back in the day.
That's a good show.
And it's just got a different feel to it. I just don't like it. He was also in Ferdinand with your boy John Cena.
My boy. The man, the myth, the legend.
And
you can't see him.
Most notably, he was the doctor on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
That's who he'll always be.
He'll always be the doctor. But I thought that he did a good job, though, for as limited as his writing allowed for his character to be.
He did do good. The three main people who needed to do a great job, I think, did a great job.
Yeah.
Overall, it kept me entertained. The whole cat and mouse game was fun.
It kept me in it. It really did. The cat and mouse game between Kale and Sean was fun. A little one-sided because Sean's just kind of a regular dude.
Yeah.
And Kale is not so regular.
He's a trust fund killer.
Yeah. He's been doing it for years. So they say. So as far as the story goes, I felt that it was kind of predictable at times. There was, however... I'm sorry?
I said, why do you say that?
Oh, well, there was one scene that really kind of got me to jump. I knew it was coming, but I still jumped a little bit. It was a scene where Sean's girlfriend, Riley, was walking between the two apartment buildings. And Kale jumps out, grabs her fucking head, repeatedly smashes it against the fucking brick wall, and then just kind of threw her over the fucking railing. But when he first nabbed her, even though I knew it was coming, I fucking saw it coming a mile away. I still kind of jumped a little bit.
I'm surprised there's not more. People got mad when Jennifer Lawrence was getting choked out by Apocalypse. This man beat the shit out of her.
I don't think that they were mad that she was getting choked out by Apocalypse, so much as they were pissed off that the Apocalypse that they gave us was a fucking shit show joke.
True.
That was the Ivan Ooze Apocalypse.
I feel like we talk about this every podcast.
It's fucking terrible.
It's disappointing. This man, you remember when Hulk got his ass beat, and you were like, God damn. This will have you like, Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck. I mean, he grabs her fucking head and repeatedly smashes that fucker against the side of a brick wall.
This is what Tony Stark's face should have looked like after Thanos was punching him repeatedly in the head. She looked horrible.
What did you think of the story, though?
I thought that the story, it took a little while to pick up in the beginning, but then once it started going, you were in it. And then I think once he got down to that cabin, it just kind of got a little slow. The pacing slowed down, and it kind of got a little bit okay, let's get to the end now. For me.
I think you're kind of onto something there. I did feel that it kind of jumped right into it right from the get-go. I mean, it was the second house they went to rob, starting the show.
The first house was funny.
It was funny, yeah. But then you go to the second one, and he's just, cruising through the house, and he's like, oh, look, here's another room. Let's go check it out. It's got a super, important lock on it. There's got to be something good back there. And he goes snap a picture of the checkbook. And that's when he sees Katie all tied up, bound, gagged, chained to the fucking floor.
Let me tell you, that would have scared... I would have had a heart attack and died. Like, the way... That was terrifying. It terrified me just watching it. To be in that room and see that shit, I would have died.
It was sick. It was fucking sick. And then he's like, I'm going to go save you. I'll be back. And then he goes and he's looking for some shit. And then he can't remember which door got him in. And he walks into fucking his kill room. And then he just kind of drives off.
Yeah, he's like, this shit's too much. Well, no, then he saw the lights on. And he was like, I can't do this. Because the dude was looking into the room.
Oh, yeah, because he was watching from his phone.
The room, yeah.
A modern technology thing.
Yeah. But I think that whole, like, from that scene, you were like, oh, shit. And then the dude, like, it just got, you were uneasy from that point on. Because I feel like there was always someone watching one of the guys. Like, you were like, oh, are they going to get him? Or, oh, shit, he's about to kill this dude. Or he's about to beat the fuck out of his girlfriend.
They started to set up Kale as though he is a menacing serial killer, badass dude. But then the writing just completely fucking failed him.
Yeah.
It just became...
That's why I say I just didn't mess with his voice, like, with the American accent.
Yeah.
He just sounded like a nerdy, like, white dude to me. Like, instead of, like, a suave...
Like Kilgrave.
Yeah, like Kilgrave. He should have sounded like Kilgrave. Not some American asshole.
So, had you seen this movie prior to ever seeing him as Kilgrave, would that change your overall opinion on not just the character, but maybe the movie as a whole?
So, like, if I didn't know he was an American, basically is what you're asking me?
Well, just the way that he was as Kilgrave, accent, the whole fucking thing. Would it change your outlook on this movie?
That's hard to say. Probably. Probably. It was just such a good role.
For me, I think that it completely changes it for me. I think that I would enjoy it more. I would buy into him more. But having seen him as Kilgrave, it just set the fucking bar so high. And anything short of that performance is just going to be a little underwhelming.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It would have definitely been a whole different story if I would have never seen Kilgrave. Like, he's definitely top 3 villains of all time in Marvel.
Just in Marvel?
Just in Marvel.
Give me your top 3.
My top 3?
Get off the track a little bit.
Oh God. Don't put me on the spot like this. All right, I'm gonna go. Of course, you got to throw in Heath Ledger's Joker.
That's DC. That's not Marvel.
Oh, we said. I thought you were saying.
No, you said Marvel.
I thought you were saying Marvel. Top 3 villains of all time.
Oh God, top 3 of all time. We could do top 3 of all time if that's how you want to do it.
No, I'll just do Marvel. that cuts it down. I mean, definitely now Thanos. I would say Cottonmouth and Kilgrave. Like, I don't know which order, but I'd probably put Thanos first out of all of them.
I would have to say Thanos number 1.
Do you think Kilgrave could mind control Thanos?
Maybe.
That would be some scary shit.
Maybe. We'll never know, though. Maybe he got, dusted.
Probably.
Wasn't he already dead, though, I guess?
I'm just wondering if he
Kind of
would be
dead.
able to. Not.
Maybe,
I don't think they will.
Maybe he could have. I don't know. Pre gauntlet completion, maybe. I don't know about completely armed with the gauntlet. I don't think he could.
So that'd be some good shit. Maybe. I haven't watched Jessica Jones season 2, so I don't know if he's.
It's
alive.
awesome. You should really check it out.
I need to. I don't got a lot of time.
I hear you. But I agree with Cottonmouth in the three spot though.
Like me personally, I put Cottonmouth before him just because I think Kilgrave was a wonderful like performance from an actor.
A one-off type thing.
I think Cottonmouth, he was just a dope villain. It was like the Lex Luthor Superman thing, but good. And black.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, it was good. All the way around. I could maybe do 2, then put Kilgrave in the 3 hole. You make a good argument there. I agree with you. I will let you have that. But it's easy to kind of grab TV villains versus the Marvel movie villains, because outside of Michael B. Jordan's role in Black Panther here most recently, we really haven't had a good...
Yeah, Michael Keaton. We talked about this a
Yeah.
little bit on the Infinity War. You know,
But
Red
those-
Skull, Michael Keaton, and
Yeah.
Loki, Michael B. Jordan. That's it.
But they're not like top 3 material though.
That is true. And Loki's barely a villain.
Unless he's the master villain of the whole MCU.
All right, let's get back on topic.
All right, back on
We
topic.
can't make every episode about Marvel.
One thing I did forget to mention while we're talking about the MCU, though, is Carrie Condon. You know who else she voices in her movie career?
Who?
Friday.
Oh, I did hear that. Isn't she actually Paul Bettany's wife?
Yes.
She becomes someone in the MCU too. I forget who though. I don't remember. I'll look it up.
Does that mean they're going to have a relationship with Vision and another AI character?
Oh, yeah.
And then Scarlet Witch is going to be part of a 3-way?
No, Scarlet Witch is just going to die.
No, don't kill her off.
No one really likes her as a character.
I fucking like her.
People like her cleavage.
Okay, that has a lot to do with it. Sure, I'll give you that. The problem with Scarlet Witch is she hasn't had a lot of time on screen. Her story is still young, and they're trying to speed it up without proper development.
But do you think she could have her own movie? I don't think she could carry one ever. What are they? Unless it was her own? No. Maybe a Vision in Scarlet Witch, but that would just be
Fuck
annoying.
Vision and Scarlet Witch. We want fucking Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
I mean, it could be the first Avengers rom-com.
My question for you is, what would you rate this movie, Bad Samaritan? And would you say it's a buy it, a Redbox it, or a Netflix it?
I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. And I would say Netflix.
I agree with the Netflix. However, I disagree with your rating. I would say a 3 out of 5, simply because the writing failed Tennant so much. There wasn't anything for a backstory for him.
Yeah.
We've seen what a backstory can do for a character with Thanos. You know, you kind of feel a little less like Thanos is an asshole when you get his background story.
Yeah.
You know, he saved some planets. Yeah, he killed a few million people, but he did save some planets.
Thanos is a good man, trying to do a good thing for you and me.
I would vote for Thanos in 2020 for president of the United States of America.
Thanos versus Trump in the next election. I'd love to hear these debates.
So, the other movie that we saw, arguably a whole lot less as good, Breaking In.
Yeah.
Directed by James McTeague, I think you say his name is.
Something like that.
It works for me. I don't know. He's done some work on Sense8, which I've never seen. I've heard it's good.
It's a wild show. I saw 5 minutes and I was done.
So maybe it's not as good as I've heard.
I mean, it might be good. It was too much for me. There was a dildo coming out of a tranny, and it was a lot for me. There was a dildo coming from a trans woman, and it was wet and slippery, and it was just a lot. I couldn't do it.
Sounds wonderful. Then he did Ninja Assassin, which I thought was just a fun action movie.
Yeah, it was fun.
You know, it's not going to win any awards or anything like that, but I thought it was fun.
That was a fun one.
V for Vendetta.
An amazing movie.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I watch it every November.
Remember.
The 5th of November.
5th of November?
Something black powder.
Yeah, something.
Smoke. Snow.
He did a couple of other movies that I've seen. There was Survivor. I think it was called Survivor with Pierce Brosnan and Mia Jovovich. It wasn't very good. I watched it on Netflix. It might still be there. If you've got a couple hours to spare, you're bored, and you don't want to watch a dildo flying from a tranny, maybe check this out.
Trans woman.
Whatever.
We don't want to get any communities going against us.
He also did The Raven. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Never saw it.
Don't.
Okay.
It was complete ass.
Oh, speaking of ass, this movie stars Gabrielle Union, who is very famous for eating the ass of Dwayne Wade.
She's all about that ass eating, isn't she, I hear?
Yeah, this movie was so ass, she might eat it.
This movie was ass.
I just don't get it. I don't understand, like, how can you make a movie and just be like, it's so bad, but you're like, this is perfect. This is what I wanted to convey perfectly.
I don't know. I wasn't buying into this movie from the fucking beginning, just seeing the trailers.
Was it because of Rihanna?
It was part of Rihanna. It was also part of Gabrielle Union. I mean, how am I supposed to buy into this actress, if you will call her such? I mean, she's known for Clueless.
And eating ass.
And eating ass. 10 Things I Hate About You.
And eating ass.
She was in Bring It On.
And eating ass.
She did Cradle to the Grave. Probably while eating ass. She was in Bad Boys 2.
Oh, she definitely ate some ass there.
She definitely ate some ass then.
Will Smith definitely gets his ass eaten. I might take that one out.
I wouldn't. I'd leave it. Fuck that shit. Will Smith ain't listening to this shit anyway.
Will Smith keeps his ear to the streets. He's the Fresh Prince. But yeah, it just wasn't good. From the trailer, as soon as Rihanna was playing, I was like, why would you put that in the trailer? What made you think, you know what this one needs? Rihanna. She'll spice up this trailer. I was almost sold before Rihanna came on.
I was never sold. If not for fucking Movie Pass, I wouldn't be seeing this shit. No fucking way.
That's just because you're racist.
I know someone.
But
anyways, so obviously we can agree that the movie was ass.
yeah, it was garbage. It was no fun.
I had so many issues with Gabrielle Union in this movie, from just her very existence in the movie, but also her very shitty portrayal of a fucking parent, a mother.
Yeah.
It just, she sucked ass. Or ate ass, whatever. You have, I mean, they kind of jumped right into it. You know, here you have Billy Burke's character, Eddie, and his gang of misfits, you know, abducting her kids in the house, right early in the movie. It's very early on in. So you get that right away. And then you have her showing like no emotion over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she didn't. It was just weird. It was weird acting.
It lacked.
Her best acting was in the very beginning when she said a whole playlist, and that was in the fucking trailer.
Yeah. That was literally it. You don't get any emotion from this bitch until over an hour into the movie. And her kids are being held captive inside of a fucking fortress that she cannot get into. And she's just all, oh, my kids, they've been taken hostage. What do I do? And she doesn't give a shit.
You know what she was about to do? She was about to bring it on.
She was about to bring it on. Probably listen to some fucking Rihanna. I'm sorry, but if you fucking take my kids and hold them hostage, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to be some fucking Sean Russell bitch. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to Liam Neeson that shit.
Ooh. You got a specific set of skills?
I will fucking have a particular set of skills.
Oh, is that what it is?
And I will find that motherfucker and I will fucking kill them. Not offer them some money in exchange for my kids. No, you fuck with my kids, I fuck with your life. It's that simple. Liam Neeson showed emotion. And that dude was a fucking trained killer.
Yeah.
This bitch didn't show any emotion. And she's just a fucking Rihanna listening ass-eating bitch who sucked in this movie.
I feel like that was a little aggressive. I mean, you didn't have to go after her personally.
She sucked. That's the bottom line.
She didn't. Does she have kids? I feel like her and Dwayne Wade don't have kids.
Then she should have never been playing a mom. Because she did a really terrible job as a mom. And she did a terrible job as someone trying to get her kids back. It was literally, like, the movie was, what, an hour and a half long?
Yeah. It felt like...
It felt like 3 hours.
Well, the movie, I think it's marked at an hour and a half. But that's from the beginning opening sequence of the old man running through the streets.
Yeah.
To after the credits.
Yeah, the very end. So...
The whole movie is probably an hour long.
Hour and 15, hour and 20, somewhere in there.
It was just...
And in about an hour point in the movie is the first time you get any emotion from her. And that's when Billy Burke's Eddie was saying that her kids are dead and their blood is on her hands as she's running through the woods away from everything.
Yeah.
And she stops and you finally get a shred of emotion from her at all. An hour into the movie.
She just didn't do a good job. The Mexican dude in there, he wasn't doing too well either. Like,
no, I've seen him in other things, and I always liked him in his roles. I don't know, just something about him. He just comes across as like terrifying at times, and
He wasn't really terrifying in this.
No.
Like, he was trying to be, but he wasn't.
it was like he was trying too hard. He couldn't convey it.
That was something else. I feel like that like rape scene at the end was like, it felt just forced. Like it wasn't needed.
Isn't rape usually forced?
Oh man.
Seriously though, it was poor. It
was just
lacked.
like, what else can we throw in here to bring
us
people
from an
down.
hour and 5 to an hour and 10. I've got it. Let's throw in a fake ass rape scene that sucked and just couldn't convey anything.
There was like still no emotion from Gabrielle Union.
No, none. Her daughter is pinned against a fucking pool table with a knife to her throat. And Gabrielle Union's just laying there like, oh, I already brought it once, so I have to bring it again.
Oh my god. Before that rape scene, though, can we talk about the punk-ass dad? I am sick and tired of Hollywood. Right now, they're on this, they give us a whack-ass T'Challa. I like Chadwick Boseman. I liked him in 42.
Loved him in 42.
He's a great actor.
Phenomenal.
He's a boring-ass Black Panther.
Yeah.
We liked him in Civil War, but after that, once we saw Michael B. Jordan, we were like,
damn.
Yeah, T'Challa, you're a little boring, man. This isn't our king. This isn't our king anymore.
No, not anymore.
But then they have this father come in, the father of the kids, and Gabrielle Union's wife or husband in the movie. Her wife in the movie.
Yeah. This dude was a bitch.
He comes in and just does nothing. She's been kicking their asses for the last 45 minutes. He does absolutely nothing. Walks up, gets his ass whooped. She has to go out and like sacrifice the money to save his life because he got his ass whooped.
Yeah, he got his ass whooped right there. He's knocking on the door like, oh, there's dead body, there's blood spattered everywhere. This dude's just as dumb as she is.
Who got their ass whooped worse? Him or the girlfriend from Bad Samaritan?
Oh man.
Who took the ass whooping better?
I would say the girl in Bad Samaritan did. This guy he got his ass beat. He got hit like a couple of times and he was down.
He was down.
You know, at least when what's her face, Riley, got, you know, her ass whooped there. I mean, she looked it.
Yeah, she got her ass whooped and she
had
was still in the hospital like, fuck you.
She had a legitimate reason for, you know, not moving anymore. He got hit a couple of times and he's laying on the fucking ground like he got shot in the head.
Hollywood, stop doing this to our black men. Portray us as tough again. Not thugs, though.
The other thing with Gabrielle Union's character showing zero emotion, except for that one scene, so 90% of the time she didn't show any emotion, her two kids in that movie showed more emotion.
The kids were better actors.
They were better actors.
The son, specifically, I feel like the daughter was lacking in some points, but she did good overall.
I thought that they did a good job. You know, they did a good job relaying that terror of being held captive.
I feel like a lot of kid actors are coming up right now, and like it's gonna be a new slew of just amazing actors. Like all those Stranger Things kids are good. These two kids were pretty good. What recently? Those teenagers in probably not even teenagers. The way Hollywood is, they're all probably 30, but from Blockers, they were good.
Oh yeah, they're probably pushing 20-ish.
Yeah.
So.
But we're gonna have some good actors in the future.
We will. We'll need that to replace the likes of John Cena.
Yeah. The GOAT. Watch out, Leo.
Don't fuck with Leo.
Leo's my boy. I was just playing. It was a joke.
Leo can take a shit and it'll have more talent than most people have.
You know, it'd be the most interesting fight, Drax versus John Cena. Because you couldn't see either of them.
This is true, because Drax mastered the art of invisibility.
It could be a pay-per-view. They'll make so much money. Are they actually fighting? Who knows?
Who knows? All right, so Billy Burke. You've probably seen him in those shitty vampire movies, Twilight.
I love those movies.
Loser. He's done a lot of TV stuff, more so than I think big screen, but he was hands down the best part of this movie. He seemed like he was just a regular guy.
Yeah.
That just wanted the money that his tweaker buddy told him about.
His dick-sucking tweaker buddy.
His dick-sucking tweaker buddy. So
if him and Gabrielle Union get together, they could have a very profitable brothel.
Make sure and get Rob Lowe, the Canadian mayor, over.
Oh man.
But he was the best part. I mean, his scenes, his performance, his character, his presence in that movie just made it watchable. One thing that didn't help with the movie sucking and the experience being garbage was those three dickheads sitting behind us.
Oh yeah. If you're gonna sneak a soda into the theater, don't let it explode. You fucking assholes. And then don't spend an hour trying to open up a bag of candy.
A fucking hour!
Throughout the whole movie.
That didn't help. But the movie still sucked regardless.
Yeah.
So, before we venture off track yet again, let me ask you this. What would you rate it? And would you say it's a...
Buy, rent, or Netflix?
Buy it, Redbox it, or Netflix it?
I'm going to have to say buy. I think this one is going to be a classic that gets a real cult following. No, I'm just kidding. Just Netflix it if it's on there. Or just don't watch it even if it is. There's better stuff on Netflix.
What would you give it for a star rating, though?
Star rating?
I'm curious.
2 stars.
Really?
1.5, probably.
Wow, that's gracious. I would give it a 1 star, personally, only because of Billy Burke.
Yeah, that's why I did it, Billy Burke.
If he wasn't in that movie, I wouldn't even rate it at all. If you want to see the movie, I advise waiting for it to come out onto Netflix.
Yeah, it'll definitely be on there.
It'll definitely be there.
Probably right after it's done in theaters.
But I definitely wouldn't pay for it outright. I wouldn't go to it in theaters without MoviePass. And if you don't have Netflix and you still want to see it, find a friend who will give you their login information so you can watch it on their account.
Yeah,
and you still don't have to pay for it.
Don't give Netflix your money for this movie. Please don't.
Please don't. Do yourself a favor. Save yourself that money and spend it on something else. Like MoviePass.
MoviePass. Sponsor us. This is the last time I'm going to ask. Next time I will tell you.
With a nice letter.
With a nice letter. Saying
and
how much we
please.
love you.
All right, this has been Movies for the People. Until next time, don't be a bitch. Eat that ass.